What are these, hon?
Some my collard greens.
Collard greens. Did your man pick you some collard greens?
Yes, he did. He did.
All right.
How many did you get?
Probably not enough. It'll wilt down. when you
Oh
cook
no,
it.
this is not nearly enough.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to attack them harder, I guess. I'll see.
So, get about like 20 leaves. 20
Okay.
leaves, 10 or 20, 15. Let's call it 15.
15. Okay,
15.
I'll be back 15 leaves
Take the
later.
camera. Alright guys, it was not my intention to film this, but we're going to now. My collards are doing really good, and I really want to make a mess of collards and a pot of soup beans like my grandpa used to make. I never called him grandpa, like Granddaddy used to make. And so I've already got the beans going, and I'm doing the bacon now for the grease for the collards. So I'll show you what I got going on over here. So in this stock pot, we have bacon cooking for all the goodness that it's going to bring to the collards. And then here we have our pot of soup beans cooking. Soup beans, probably going to be done in the middle of the night because I get in the mood to do this stuff at weird times. So there it is. It is a mix of Great Northern white beans and pinto beans. I soaked them. I didn't soak them. I sorted them, rinsed them, and then boiled them, and then left them to sit in the hot water for about an hour and a half. You'll have to let them sit for an hour, but I had to go to the grocery store, and that was an hour and a half. So these ought to be ready anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour from now. So that's our lovely beans, our soup beans like Granddaddy used to make. And then over here we got the bacon going to render some grease, some good bacon grease for the collards that Chris is picking. So yeah, I can't say that I grew those beans because I did not, obviously. But yeah, that's what we're doing today on the Black Pack Homestead. If it wasn't dark outside, I'd take you down and show you the bunnies. I was going to do that earlier, but I got in the middle of doing all this, and so tomorrow we'll show you what day, the 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Tomorrow will be the 4th, so there'll be a 4-day-old bunny. They're just now getting a little of what I call their velvet fur on. Usually by the 2nd day they've got nice velvet fur, and it's sweet. So let me go over here and start chopping some onions here. I mean, they cool. Ooh, baby brought collards back, collards back, collards back. Baby got collards back. Ooh, we grew these. We're going to eat them. Now we must rinse and debone them, which means take the stem out. So, let's chop an onion before we do that because my bacon is still cooking. Chris could come babysit the bacon while I prepare collards.
Yeah, I could.
But I'm going to chop an onion before and get that all ready for you to dump in if I'm still doing collards.
I'll babysit your bacon.
Babysit my bacon.
Which bacon do you need babysat on?
This bacon right here. And here's the tongs when you need them. I've just got it on low, or on 3, because I don't want to cook it fast. I want to render out all the goodness.
You know what that needs is more bacon.
Where are you going to shove more bacon at?
You can shove more bacon.
Well, if you can get the last, I was just going to take out some as it cooked.
I just stir it around.
I don't want it stirred around.
Oh yeah, that's how you want it.
No,
You
it's
just
not.
don't think that's how you want it.
Where's my knife? I'm always looking for my knife.
Bacon makes everything better.
Yep, bacon is meat candy.
Meat candy. Alright, well, we burned through that bag of bacon.
Well, it's because half of it's already in the bean pot.
You know how to make that beans better?
Bacon?
Bacon.
You know what's in that bean pot?
Some bacon.
5
Not
pieces
all
of
the
bacon.
bacon.
We can add more bacon. That's just as much grease as I needed to. Well, it only said 3 because you're really only using it for the grease. But,
Psh, you're using it for the flavor.
well, that's my point.
Flavor.
Meat, I would have had a big
Yes,
cow.
that's different too.
But that's not raw meat. That's
Yeah.
just beans with cooked bacon in it, and I'm gonna put the same thing into that pot, except for instead of beans, I'm gonna put collard greens. But
Collard
onion, garlic, and salt and pepper are gonna go in there. I gotta look at my recipe because this is like the only second time I've ever cooked collard greens. This is the first time I've ever put a pot of beans on the stove to cook.
Well, next year in the fall time is the best time for cole crops. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
Even though we'll get bigger cabbage in the spring, the bugs
Yeah.
aren't as severe.
Yeah, I mean, we lost? No.
No.
That's not what I'm trying to say. We had a lot of bug damage to begin with, but those
Yes.
cabbages turned out okay.
Yes, it's
They
because
were
it got
big.
colder.
Yeah. Because we had that warm spell.
The bugs move slower in the cold weather.
Yeah, I agree.
Borage brings the bugs in though, like
Brings the
calendula.
beneficial? The beneficial
The bees love the borage.
pulls the pollinators in.
Yeah, and the
That's why
hornets,
it's good
like
to
little
plant
sweat bees. I don't know what they are. They're probably
those little carpenter
bees.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Which is cool. I like those. Those are
I do
alright.
too. They're pollinators. Anything that pollinates, I'm happy. Give me your tired, your poor, your pollinators.
You know, as I know of if you out there doing it.
Mhm.
How's your fermented tomatoes?
I need to check them bad, and I need to stop them from fermenting because they've been going for like
I
2
know.
weeks.
You know, I may just get some of the sauerkraut.
I put your lunch meat in the same place, and I sat the sauerkraut little container on top. But if I were you, I'd put
That's
that
the
I would put that sauerkraut back in the
Oh, that's the garlic.
jar with the brine. That,
Garlic sauerkraut. Yeah.
that you scooped out to take to work for Miss Linda to try.
Yeah, I still forgot about it.
Yeah, I know.
This one has a garlic clove and caraway in it.
How's your bacon?
Looking good.
There's our garlic and onion.
I've been eating on this kraut. It hasn't killed me yet.
Good stuff. Everybody should lacto ferment something today. It's a great.
Refer to the sauerkraut episode.
Or
Salt, water, and cabbage, guys. You can't go wrong.
or the fermenting of green tomatoes. Or the fermenting of red tomatoes. I like tomatoes.
Fermenting tomatoes is good too. Let's try this. Cheers. Mmm. That garlic strong, just one little clove net. Pint jar really did the trick. You want to try?
Look, no mold. That is the SCOBY growing.
Try that. The SCOBY.
That's way too much for me to eat at once. Mm-hmm. See, it'll grow with SCOBY. See how it looks like a film? That's not mold. That little white piece right there is probably mold. Here, since I'm doing this right now, here is a jar of tomatoes I fermented. They've been fermenting for 2 weeks. I should have stopped them at 7 days, but I forgot. And if you look, you know, the water doesn't look shiny. It looks cloudy, and that just means it's fermenting. And that, like, flat, matte, you know, not shiny liquid on the top, that skim is not mold. That is SCOBY. And the mold, give me a spoon. There actually is just a tiny little mold colony right there. See, I'm going to scoop him out. That little white bit, that little circle, if you can even see that, that's the mold. But that's it. Done. And then we take the weight out. And we taste them and hope we like them.
Don't be afraid to try, guys. I think in the history of man, I don't think there's ever been a reported case of anybody ever killing themselves by trying to ferment vegetables. It's about as safe as it gets, so, you know, don't have your doubts. I know it looks a little weird sometimes, but that's okay. It's, you know, worth trying. To me, fermented tomatoes taste like, kind of like sun-dried tomatoes. The skins get real thick, I think. But it definitely tastes like tomato. It's fantastic. You gotta give it a try.
That collard is falling apart.
Babysitting the bacon. Bacon!
So there you go. That's what they look like. And squish them down in there. Now see, there is white stuff growing in this, Chris. Look at this.
Oh, I know.
Is that the SCOBY?
The film?
This right here, come look.
If you skin it off, you'll be fine.
So this right here was in the bottom of the jar. That doesn't look like mold. That looks like a SCOBY.
Bottom?
Yeah, it looks like a SCOBY.
I'd still take it out.
Cause not roots and refuge, but
Was it below the water level line?
yeah.
Then you're probably safe, but I'd still take it out.
Throw that one in there. Alright, now that you've seen it and I've had my little bit of a freak out, let's try it. I'm gonna turn this timer off. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Tomato. They smell great and they taste great. Skin's a little tough, but I just spit that out. It's really good. Really good fermented tomatoes. Yum, yum, yum. Uh-oh, something just fell in the cabinet. I'm trying to find me a storage lid.
Tell them what, have you discussed why you want to try fermented foods?
I talked about that on Game of Thrones.
Good.
But
Y'all need to check out Game of Thrones. It's a Marella's segment.
just to reiterate though about the fermented foods. One of the main reasons that I eat fermented foods, you might want these here tongs.
Tongs. I can use some tongs.
One of the reasons that I eat fermented foods, I'm trying to get in the shot. One of the reasons that I eat fermented foods is because of my Crohn's disease. And I basically have a short gut and I don't have normal flora and good bacteria in my gut, and eating fermented foods gives me that, and something that I thoroughly enjoy eating. It's nice to enjoy something that helps you stay healthy and you love it. So, yep, that's why we do a lot of fermented foods. He likes them too, but I'm like pickle crazy. I was juicing store-bought
Well, even
pickles.
your worst attempt is probably still better once you get out of the store.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've never not liked anything that I fermented. Now, for the green tomatoes, I let them sit too long, and they had a lot of that white SCOBY that I now know is a SCOBY in the bottom, and I did not eat those. Those did scare me, and so, but I just tasted those. I mean, they smelled great. Didn't they smell great?
They smell great. Can't rush bacon.
I know that.
I like bacon. Lots of bacon. I dig the porcine family. We need to try some rabbit and wrap it in bacon.
Oh, I've read a recipe like that.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
I've got one of them saved. Bookmarked.
I mean, how can you go wrong with that? That's like two forbidden foods all mushed together. I learned an interesting fact that a lot of people back until 1950s, especially in Europe, ate more rabbit than they did chicken.
Yep.
So just consider that. It's not as odd as you think.
No, not at all.
Commercialized food is when that changed, when they started commercializing chicken.
Because not very many people in the UK ate chicken until they started, you know, raising them inside with, you know, a bunch of chickens in cages. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And they started raising them in cages.
Even during World War II, they were urging people to grow rabbits because they do so well and they're easy to grow.
Alright, is that bacon nearly done?
You have to inspect.
Alright, well I gotta have somewhere to put these collards once I chop them, and I don't really have a good container. I want to use the cutting board, but I'm going to use it in reverse.
Reverse cutting board.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Putting it
that
back
way.
together.
Yes, I am. Don't you know my talents are many?
It's a reverse cutting board. You're putting it back together. Yes, 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 I am.
Exactly.
It's the reverse of a cut. Just gluing it back together.
I know, but usually you cut and then put it on a plate, and I'm doing it backwards. Okay, how I do my collards, I take scissors, because scissors make everything easier, and I just cut up, start on this end, and make a snip, and then just cut out that middle rib, just like that. And then I take the collard, and I wait till I got 2 or 3 cut like that, and then I just cut them about inch strips. That's how I do it. Just thought you might like to know.
This is how we do it.
Do it. See, then I take them, a bunch of them, and I wad them up, and then I just start cutting. About 1 inch strips. You need to put it on a paper towel when it's done to drain it, please.
It's gotta cook. How done do you want it?
Let me see it.
It's working.
Oh wow, it needs to be done than that.
I know.
This collards ain't gonna be done because it's taken 400 years. I swear I cooked
Well,
my...
no, because it'll work out just right. That's how it's supposed to. Tell you what, eating rabbit makes me much more appreciative of where your food comes from. I can tell you that. You understand sacrifice.
Ah, worms, ah. I just killed one of those cabbage moth worms.
If God didn't want people to eat meat, it wouldn't taste so good.
Sure.
My brother-in-law, Albert, he likes his raw. He likes his
Bacon or
bacon
collard?
raw.
Oh, he does?
No, not that I know.
How do you
He
know?
told me that one time. I'm like,
Now, do you want to know what would be really good with the beans and greens?
beans and greens?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Cornbread.
Yeah.
Guess what I have?
You got some cornbread mix?
I got cornmeal.
Cornmeal.
Better.
What do you think about this bacon? Is it about time?
Yeah, I'd say it's done enough. Alright then, it says to add, Chris, I need you again, because you're going to be my monitor person again while I read. So it says to put the onions and 3 strips of bacon back in, which I'm doing now. A little bit of onion on this. So now I'm gonna get a pot holder because this is a metal pot and I gotta hang on to it because I gotta scrape the goodness out of the bottom. And all the yummy deliciousness that bacon left on the bottom of the pan.
So all we cooked in there right now is bacon.
Yep. Now onions and crumbled bacon went back in. Now they'll cook there till they're almost translucent, and I'm going to turn this up a hair. And then I'm going to read. Homemade bone broth. I just strained it out of the pot I got cooking. You can stop cooking your bone broth at 24 hours, even 12 hours. I just like to cook out all the goodness I possibly can. And this one was seasoned for people or humans, so it had onion, celery, some carrot, salt, pepper, and some cinnamon and some turmeric, because I just like those flavors in my broth. So, now, where are we at here? Oh, we're ready. We're ready. I'll pop that garlic in. You're just supposed to saute the garlic until it becomes aromatic. Aromatic. They gave me 5 minutes for the onions, and I'd say that's probably about right. So when does garlic become aromatic? Do you know? I don't know. I think I smell garlic. I guess that means it's aromatic.
On your bone broth, you got secret ingredient, just a little bit of cinnamon, right?
Yeah, there's cinnamon in it, always.
Yeah, just
Alright.
don't be afraid to experiment, guys. Put a little cinnamon in your bone broth. You'd be surprised what it does to it.
And then now we're just going to add our collard greens if you want to get the camera, Chris. I should have dried them off a little bit, probably. Whoa.
So you basically just dropped your collard greens in there.
Yep, drop the collards into the onions, and then you stir it into the oil and the onion, garlic, bacon mixture, and you let it begin to wilt.
Alright.
And then after that, you pour your chicken broth in, and then let it simmer for, I think, 30 minutes, or cook for 30 minutes. I think my collards are pretty well coated in the grease.
Just gotta get hot enough to wilt.
Yep, I gotta turn my oh, there we go. I am on the unit good. Alright, there we go. They're all stirred up and covered in grease. Good old bacon grease on home.
Ain't gonna take long.
No, not long at all. This stuff shrinks down quick. That is definitely wilted. So it's time to pour our broth in and let it simmer.
Now we're gonna do like a vinegary type.
Just vinegar.
Yeah, so
And there's the collards right there, all wilted. After you eat, when it's ready to eat, you'll pour vinegar on it.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, but I'm not putting vinegar in here.
No, don't do that.
No.
Yeah, season to taste.
You season it with your apple cider vinegar. Is my favorite to eat on it. White vinegar is good too, though. All right.
At this point, I'd put kraut on anything. I love it.
2 cups of chicken broth, homemade.
Chicken broth.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's gonna do a trick. That's gonna wilt down even faster.
Well, it calls for 3, but I'm not going to use 3 because I don't think we had a pound of collards. Because you don't want it
Yeah, there's
swimming
no way
in
we
it.
had a pound there.
Yeah. So I'm just going to use 2
Maybe.
cups.
It's just 2 of us.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take some to Daddy too. I wanted to
yeah,
have
I'm
enough
just
to
saying.
take some to Daddy. Wait, before I get carried away, I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes so I can finish seasoning these collards so I don't forget what I've done. Okay, and then after you put your chicken broth in, it says season with salt and pepper to taste. So I'm not going to put quite a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to put like a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt so you can season it yourself. And I'm a saltaholic. You know, confession time. And I don't love pepper, but I've made myself start eating more pepper because I think it's good for my gut. Get a little anti-inflammatory of peppers in my gut, even though my mouth is still not very used to it. It's not. That stew
you're right.
is. You loved that stew.
Well,
and
it was a
that
little
stew
peppery,
was
but
peppery.
yes, it was.
Jiffy corn muffin mix, 1/3 cup of milk and 1 egg. Mix batter. And then you put it in greased muffin cups, which I haven't greased mine yet, but I will after I mix my batter. And there's your corn muffin batter, Simple Simon. Now let's grease our muffin cups. I'm actually going to use some Crisco, if I can find my Crisco, that is. It says it makes 6 to 8, so and these seem rather shallow, so I'm going to grease 6 to start out with, and then if I need more, we'll grease more. Yeah. When I was little, this was like my favorite job in the kitchen. I loved to grease pans, just playing in the lard or the Crisco, whatever we were using. I just thoroughly enjoyed playing in playing in lard. It was great fun. I did like it said, and I let the batter sit for 3 or 4 minutes. It says it'll make the tops crispier, so let's see if it works. Let's spoon it into our muffin cups, and it says to like stir it again before you do that.
Yeah, it smells good up in here.
I'm glad. And what I was saying is I need one of those cookie scoops that they use, ice cream scoops, cookie dough scoops, for this, because you get your muffins the exact same size. And you don't have to deal with all this drippage. And you don't have to use your finger to rake it off. So yeah, I need to invest. Trying to use all my batter without having to grease another pan. Alright, there we go. Corn muffins. It's a country cooking night for us. I'm not a fan, not a fan. Not a fan standing in front of stuff. But I wanted to cook these this particular way. Alright, 15 to 20 minutes, we should have some cornbread. Alright then, I'm gonna leave him to it, and we'll be back when it's all done. Okay, here we are, final product. There's our collard greens. I got a little bit too much broth in them, but you know, use a slotted spoon. They still taste great. So there's the collards. And then here's the soup beans as it fogs up the lens and you can't see it. Defrost, defrost. And there's our lovely soup beans with onion, garlic, and bacon. And there's our corn muffins cooling. Yay! I'd just show you us cooking some of our abundance from the garden, that we actually do eat what we grow, you know. So that'll be it for this episode of Black Pike Homestead. Hope you enjoyed this episode in the kitchen, making collards and soup beans and cornbread, good old countrified meal. And I would really appreciate it if you become a member of our pack and subscribe, like, and comment. And we'll see you here next time at the Black Pack Homestead. Bye-bye.